will just take a mic.
Yeah.
Louder than what I would be. Hello. So the reason I wanted to follow mic is I'm not going to be standing and talking, I want to be sitting and typing, because this is all about generative AI, and I know you guys have attended a lot of Gen AI prompting and all those kind of sessions. And I actually attended a lot of these at EWT and SEC. I've been attending a lot of these sessions on generative AI. And every time I came back home, like, what did I learn in that? Can I actually put this to use today? And the answer was, I sort of know what Gen AI is now, what AI is and how it may be working. But technical writing में मैं क्या करूँ इसका रोज, right? How do I practically use it? So I did some research, and I'm new to the topic, so I may not have all the answers ready for you. I will get back on the Telegram or the TWP group, once I have the answer. But I've been attending workshops, webinars, trial and error. My guinea pigs are my kids who do their assignments. And I say, ye try kar, wo try kar, So I've been learning through them. And there is a lot of things that I want to talk about that will help us in brainstorming. I know a lot of companies have banned or blocked AI tools in their organization. So I don't expect anyone to go back tomorrow to the office and start typing on ChatGPT and saying, create this user guide for my SaaS product. That's not the point of this, right? But the reason I want to do it is how can we use it to brainstorm, to leverage the massive amounts of training that ChatGPT and other such tools have got, right? So to get us started, I need to start working on this. Okay. Then, so we very brief history, right? I don't want to go into theory. So of course, in the mid 70s, when I was born, the PC came out, and I started experimenting. My first PC on my desk was an x86, if you guys know, before 286 motherboards and all that. Then the browser came out, Internet Explorer. By the way, I'm the one who on the TWT groups where I started with the Windows 3.1 and DOS days. Okay, that's me. But then the smartphone came about. Then at the time iPhone came out, right? I was working in NVIDIA, and they had announced the iPhone killer. I said, okay, I hadn't even used an iPhone at that time, but there was an iPhone killer already on the way. And of course, talking about it today at 2023, we are looking at AI, and that's the buzzword, right? And that's not going away anytime soon. Right? So, we need to take any new tool or technology or trend with the right kind of an attitude. So, Sundar Pichai always says, I've always thought of AI as the most profound technology. More profound than fire or electricity, which for me was really profound. I thought fire, electricity, wheels, those kind of inventions in human, development would have been all-encompassing. Like nothing can beat that. But if the bright minds of today have something like this to say, that really we need to reflect and see how it's going to impact the future. There are a lot of numerous AI researchers and executives from all over the world who say, and I summarize, that we need to look at AI the same way we look at a nuclear bomb or a pandemic which we just went through. So the level of effort or the level of thought they are giving already to battle AI while we are in the infancy of the AI is pretty staggering, right? So having said that, I want so while we wait, how many of you are actually using AI, any form of AI, and what are you doing?
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, but what are you doing in ChatGPT?
Mostly sometimes I use to correct grammars, write some prompts or give some suggestions on text like that.
Okay.
Or like even Brad will use it for anything.
Okay. Someone, yeah.
learn concepts.
To learn concepts, perfect. That's the best use without compromising on the IP of your company. Yeah. Sorry? Oh, yeah, okay. I did a Google search. I did a prompt once. My daughter was traveling to Singapore. I said, cheapest flights from Bombay to Singapore. And it said $100, $200. I didn't get those. But I'm not sure yet how that part works. But travel itineraries is excellent. You know, I'm going to Bali for 3 days. What can I do in 3 days? Where do I stay? And all those kind of things. Perfect. So, yeah, so this is basically what I'm going to be talking about today. I'll talk about, can you just go back one slide? So, we're going to look at the anatomy of a prompt. We know that prompting is the most important. Like if you Google, you know, some people use that plus and or, boolean, star. All these are wild character searches you can do in Google, and we are getting better and better at Googling today. Similarly, we have to get very good at prompting, and prompt engineering is probably the next, you know, career which after UX, which you said is new. I guess this is the new kid on the block where a lot of people will be trying to do prompt engineering. And I'll be. क्या प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है बादल क्यों हो रहा है So while we were waiting, I mean, I was, you know, yesterday I was talking to my daughter. One daughter is 23. She's in Singapore right now, giving interviews. She said, I want to go to Singapore, find a job. She's doing that. My younger one, I was saying, you know, she's in her 12th now, and I said, Daddy, I'm looking for colleges. Great. What kind of a subject are you looking at? I want to do criminal psychology. Yeah, right? And the worst part is, I had heard the same thing from my daughter 7 years ago because she's 7 years younger from the other one. She also wants to do criminal psychology. I said, कुछ तो genetics में लोचा है. So, I said, now I have to study what is genetic, what is this criminal psychology. Yeah.
Just one point. If you move this side, people here they are not able to see if you move away from the front.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So I went to a trusted AI tool which I'll show you in a minute, and I said, what is criminal psychology? Parts of criminal psychology. Man, I was mind blown because the kind of things it showed me, and I'll show you that same prompt. It's mind-boggling. I don't know how many of you have used it. It's called xicloud.ai. I'll show you in a minute. But we have to be a little familiar with the data hallucination, as they call it, right? We all have heard of incorrect data and content accuracy and all that. But AI, in that sense, is very human. It makes a lot of errors and it lies a lot. Unless you catch its lie, you're going to have it. I'm going to talk a little bit about ChatGPT as a research companion or a brainstorming peer, where you need to bounce off ideas, explore more, go into details. We'll look at some practical use cases for how to use ChatGPT and other forms of AI. And of course, I need to be sitting there in a minute because I'll be doing a lot of prompts.
Because the speaker is there, so it's not.
Okay, got it. And then, I called it ChatGPT as head test because I don't know how many of you have tried this, but if you upload a PDF to an AI program, you ask it questions, it actually answers based on the content which is in your PDF, right? So I just said, that's a great head test because that's what we do. generally when we call them a text. Yeah, no, I just said okay, so here's a prompt, right? Ask me questions from a technical writer role. Ask me questions for a technical writer role. So for those of you who have been using prompt, is this a good prompt? Bad prompt? What's wrong with it? What's right with it? It's very generic, right? So this might be a better prompt, right? Assume the role of a technical writer for senior tech writer position. Assume the role of an interviewer for a senior tech writer position for the JD given below, and you actually copy paste the JD, right, in the ChatGPT and say, I will be the candidate. We will engage in a conversation. So you can see this is very much like what I would do to a friend or a mock interview, you know, and I'll say, yeah, make a question. What can that guy ask me? You know, let's practice. You will ask me questions one at a time without any explanations. Now, if those of you who may not have tried a lot of this ChatGPT stuff, I just want to find my bearings here. Okay. So what I'm going to try and do is just copy paste. Right. So I've already searched up something here. I'm just going to copy this. Okay, so I've copied the job description. Sorry. Yeah, because otherwise, okay, fine. So, what I've actually done is assume the role of a writer, and I've just said, asking 5 very basic and 5 complex questions, right? So obviously it's going to go through that and start asking me 5 basic and 5 complex questions. I once typed this in, you know, I said this is the job description, ask me the toughest questions that will come up. And man, I struggled to answer some of those, and I've been in tech writing for 20 plus years, right? So it's definitely something to start your creative juices flowing. Ye pucha to what can I say? So you can have your jot notes ready. Because I always think going prepared is the best way to go into any kind of an interview meeting, whatever it is. So if you're prepared for the tougher ones, maybe you cover some of the other basic ones too, right? So this is one definite. This is one definite example of where you can. So it's saying over here, you know, basic questions. Can you tell me about experience as a technical writer? Have you worked with authoring tools like Oxygen, Adobe FrameMaker, Word? Because all these things would probably be mentioned in the job description that we were just copy pasting in here, right? Complex and tough questions. Can you walk me through the process of organizing and structuring complex technical information into clear and concise content? Nice. You know, if I was an interviewer, I might want to cheat from here as well. You know? So. You don't know, maybe they are also doing the research saying, kya puchu main isko? This guy is a senior tech writer, 15 years experience. Let's see how much we can grill this guy, right? So now we are at an even basic. Okay. The second prompt and okay. So the other you know, so these are all incremental levels of prompts that you can give. Now, that was an example, but what makes a great prompt? See, if your Google search term is crappy, the results are even going to be crappier, right? After I've used ChatGPT, any Google term seems crappy to me because I still need to do a lot of research, right? यहाँ click करो, वहाँ click करो, यहाँ से थोड़ा copy करो, copy some from there. It's a lot of beg, borrow and steal from like 15 different websites. Not the case with this. So what this is basically, if you look at the makeup of a prompt, you have to give it context. What is the context? You are assuming the role, act like, behave like so and so. The next is you give it a task. You will ask me questions. Okay, so context and task. Then you have an instruction. So task is you have to ask me questions, but the instruction is ask me 5 questions, basic and 5, whatever you want. And then here the data. What data do you base this conversation on? It could be a job description, it could be a concept, it could be a PDF, whatever you want it to be, right? So context, data, instruction, and task. That's the 4 basic components of a good prompt, right? If you want it another way, if that doesn't make sense to you, the 5 W's and a how. Basically, what are you asking? Who is asking? So I am a content writer with 5 years of experience. You are a senior content writer with 20 plus years of experience. Okay. Now you have asked what role ChatGPT has to play. I have told it what experience and skill levels I have. The next is, where is this happening? Basically that means give it a sector, give it an industry, give it a domain, a vertical. Like I don't want to know about SaaS, I want to know about auto sector, I want to know about aerospace. Focus on the data or structured authoring in spare parts catalog or management of data. I don't want to know about user management, user guide. So you can set that context when you're talking about where. The second is, what is the problem? Why are you interested? What is the purpose of this query? I have an interview, please help me. Okay, I have an interview coming up with so and so manager. I want to know about questions. I want you to tell me about the company. What are the most basic questions that can be asked? Or you can even ask it for a concept, which we'll do in a minute if I have time. The other thing is which details and elements to include. So don't talk about auto, leave auto. I uploaded a PDF on virtualization, which I do now. And I asked it a bunch of questions. And I said, tell me what a CIO needs to know from this white paper. I don't need to know what the other people know, other people are doing. I just want to know what a CIO would get out of this white paper. And it gave me 5 bullet points specifically on that, right? So that is the what kind of data you want. And basically then how? Be specific, be elaborate, be concise, give me in paragraph form, give me in bulleted form, make it sound like, explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old. So imagine trying to understand a complex topic like SaaS or the architecture or networking architecture of how data centers work, how load balancing work, and say, explain it to me like I am a total idiot. And it will do a job. Whether you understand or not depends on how much of an idiot I am. But you can keep it going, make it simpler, make it more elaborate, right? So you can talk about that. Now, here. So I actually won't go into this, it takes some time, but you can try this for fun. After the critique of AI, I'm asking the AI, think about Sumed and tell how crazy Sumed is. It's like asking him that, and it did a very good job. It gave me so many things. But here's the one I want to try with you guys. So I asked ChatGPT, why is Pune called the cotton capital of India? Okay, why is Pune called the cotton capital of India? I tell you, इतनी सफाई से झूठ बोला है. Really? You know, so, because apparently Pune is referred to as the cotton capital due to its historical significance in the cotton and textile industry. The city played a crucial role in the growth and development of cotton manufacturing during the British colonial area. Did anyone know you guys have been in Pune for I don't know how long? Okay. During the 19th century, Pune became a prominent center of spinning. So it keeps spinning, right? Till you catch it, it will keep lying to you. Well, we call it data hallucination. So instead of that, what I'm going to do is just edit this prompt, okay, and I'm going to write this last line. Give me only verified data, do not lie. Now, पकड़ा गया.
It gives different answer.
Okay. I apologize for mentioning my previous point. Right? As of my knowledge, currently Pune is not widely known as the town. What suddenly changed in 20 seconds? Okay. So you have to be careful. You have to set the context and tell it to give you verified data. You can say don't lie, don't fool around, beat around the bush, don't take people right. Try all of that. It's fun. The next slide over here that I have is yeah, so we talked about Pune, why it's called, and give me verified data only and all that. Great. Okay. So now let's see how ChatGPT can be used as a research tool or how you can help it summarize. So I have this PDF file which is a white paper. It is I'm scared to go to okay. So here is the overview. Here is the chat. Here is the PDF. I just downloaded as virtualization in a nutshell, virtualization approaches, server consolidation, and all of that. Right. So what I did here, I'm just going to copy this into my let's see new chat. I'm going to say. Summarize this text in 5 sentences, okay? And I've already copy pasted that entire text. I'm just going to copy paste it. You know, the whole, it's Control A, Control C, and copy, right? So I'll just take it. As you can see, it's quite long PDF. I won't take all of it. So what I'm saying is I've copy pasted the whole PDF and I'm saying summarize this text in 5 sentences. Okay? And otherwise have fun reading 25 pages of technical white paper on virtualization. It's not for the faint heart, it's not for me. And off it goes. Okay? The text describes the concept of virtualization as a solution to various business challenges faced by CIOs and IT managers, and it goes on and on and does a pretty good job in doing it in 5 sentences. If you count it, it's going to be 5. It looks long, but they are long 5 sentences. Okay? So I said that's great, okay, but I don't want right? And now sorry, what is called? Now I will change the prompt. Okay, over here. And if you ask it to change it don't say 5 sentences, just say 5 bullet points, right? Because then it will be a little bit more readable for you, right? You can actually consume some of that, because reading this may be difficult. So I'm going to say summarize below text in 5 bullet points.
Save as a source column.
Then. Okay, so now it started summarizing it in bullet points. So don't be afraid to try out different things. If one prompt doesn't give you what you were looking for, content may be same, but just the format is different, right? We always say bullet point use karo yaar, list, paragraph, numbered list, all those things. ChatGPT is trained on that everything. So these are good techniques to start out with, where you say, I have to read this PDF and summarize it and all that, something like this. Now, one caveat I would say, don't do this on custom written content, because the company may not appreciate this virtualization. This is a white paper which is publicly available on the VMware site, so you can use it, right? But if this was your IP, which you have done some documentation on and you're giving your technical architecture, bad idea, right? You'll be getting a phone from your HR or IT or InfoSec or someone on the other, right? But the idea here is to understand what the capabilities we can leverage off from Java. Right. Sorry, I'm trying to rush through this because I know I'm starting to see yellows and greens from there very soon. Okay, so comparative analysis. How many of us have to choose a tool, either this or that? The manager says, we are sick and tired of working in Word, so we want to find a tool that we can move to. XML होना चाहिए, structured authoring होना चाहिए, XML, and let's be high tech now. So data, oxygen, XML, all these things are coming to mind. But you don't know all the tools like you should before you can choose one, right? So that's a perfect use case for using something like this. So I'm not going to say tell me about RoboHelp and give you a lot of stuff about RoboHelp, right? But here is a prompt that I'm going to try. Okay? I'm saying, my company has a massive amount of documentation in RoboHelp and wants to migrate to structured authoring in XML. What are the tools, the best tools to migrate from RoboHelp to structured XML? That will be my starting point. Okay? And off it goes. And it will start looking at oxygen and XMetal and document and a lot of different tools, right? Which I may not have thought of. I mean, I was looking at this, I knew data open toolkit, backup, this thing, all that. Flux, I had not heard, frankly. Right? There are others in here which you can, and if you want more, 5 से मेरा पेट नहीं भरा, give me 10 more. Okay? Give me 10 more. And wow, आप क्या करते हैं? Certainly, and it starts spitting out 10 more. So now you have a list of tools at least that you can deep dive into data. But I imagine doing this in Google. 1 week gone, right? This is 20 seconds, 30 seconds, maybe 20 minutes worth of data you're getting very quickly. So, and a lot of these I've frankly have not heard. Right? Schema ST4 I've used, so I know what Schema ST4, and I expected Schema ST4 to be part of that first set of 5 tools, but it's not. Which is why I always say, give me more, give me more. So that's one use case that you can definitely use. Now, it might talk about authoring environments as well, right? Just the authoring tools. But I want to build in content management, component content management system as well. So I'm going to say over here, only include tools with a built-in CCMS, so component content management system. we have Fonto XML, XPP. So lot of different tools are out there which create what we know as code of otherwise. Right? So excellent use cases to be trying all these kind of things out. Now I want to talk about there are a lot of use cases where you have to create a presentation for a sales speech, a deck, or some kind of product, pitching the product to internal stakeholders or something like that. So let's do another chat, and I'm going to have any of you created a deck from AI, like a complete slide deck? No one, okay. Perfect. Okay, great. So help me if I screw up here, I'm going to look to you. So I'm going to say, give me a 5-slide presentation on the benefits of using structured authoring. Why are we doing this? Your manager, your IT manager, why are you spending so much money? And your top manager is saying this is required. So create a deck that we can present to the management. Okay. So create a 5-slide presentation on the benefits of using structured authoring in a collaborative environment over using traditional hacks or help authoring tools like mobile fault framing or whatever. Great. That is your first slide deck coming up. Introduction. So what's it talking about? It's saying in the introduction it says talk about the benefits of structured authoring over traditional standalone help authoring environments. Then talk about consistency and reusability. That's a huge thing today, right? Content reuse. Sorry, I'm facing my back all the time here. And the third is simplified collaboration. Obviously, you can do a lot of reuse what other writers have done. And secondly, it says improve translation and localization. Okay, great. These are nice points. You can go deeper and say include this, include that, don't talk about this, elaborate on this, all that, right? But how do we make this? I'm lazy, right? So I don't want to think about this, make that up, what goes on what slide. So I say, I have to present this to my team. What script can I follow to give the presentation to my team? And what script can I follow? Like, talk about screen video. And we are supposed to be technical writers doing research while listening. Right? So now it starts talking about, today I am excited to present the benefits of structured authoring in a collaborative environment. Okay? So it's facilitating me now. We will explore how structured authoring can enhance okay, I'm just going to go through this and I'm going to copy this. Okay, I just copied the entire output that it gave. Okay. Now I'm just saying, so it's generally talking a little bit, it's already doing it in the first person, but I'm going to show you how to make it sound like a first person. If it does it earlier on it gave me a very passive, it should be done and it should be done. So I wrote a prompt here said, give me the exact script I should follow in first person. So me and you, I and you. But it's already done that. So I've copied the content down and I'm going to go to this tool called Slide GPT. Okay, Slide GPT. I'm going to paste it in here. Sorry, not this. I have to paste the output, right? Slide GPT, paste, and all you say is create the dance deck, and you sit back and go for a coffee. Because by the time you come back, your deck is ready, your slides are ready. I did a 5-point presentation because yesterday when I was trying this, I had my daughter's play. That is, 15 slides is taking too long. You can just say कि 15 का भी हो जाएगा. Try it with a 5. So I took her advice, and it's taking a little bit of time, right? So while this thing is progressing, okay, let me show you something else. Tome.app, which is another tool that you can use for generating content based on nothing, like out of nothing, thin air, and this content. Okay, so I've already logged in. If you want to try Tome, you log in with your email and all that. You say create. Okay, and what I tried doing yesterday is I said create a presentation.
So when could you please spell it?
Sorry.
Could you please spell it?
Tome. Tome. The word tone with an M. Okay, I'm going to say create a presentation and I'm going to start it first because it takes a while. Create a presentation on the future of technical writing by 2045. Okay, I would be retired by then, so I'm just worried about what happens till then. You guys can do 70, 90, whatever you want. Right? So here it is, the future of technical writing. It's created these 5 slides. Okay. And it says advancements in technology, AI and technical writing, VR and technical writing. If you guys are just worried about AI, this VR coming. Okay. And then there is this conclusion at the end. As technology continues to advance, and I'm just reading because it's a bit magnified and more. The field of technical writing will need to adapt in order to remain relevant and effective. By embracing emerging tools like AI and VR, technical writers can create more engaging and effective content. Right? So no, none of us are losing our jobs anytime soon. Okay, even till 45 we are all working. Right? So since we are all multitaskers, let's go back to our slide PPT and see. So today I'm excited to present to you the benefit. This is what we had copied. Now all it has done is created a, well, I shouldn't say all it has done. It has created a deck for us, right? Without us even having to touch PowerPoint. Okay. Now, content. So, what are the 5 slides it has created for me? Benefits of using structured authoring, consistency and reusability, simplified collaboration, improved translation and localization, and future proofing and scalability of our content in a collaborative environment. Right? Now, what you can do is it used to be free before, but now of course many of us have started using it, so there is a small charge you have to pay. But if you click on download, you can actually open it. It used to allow me to open it in Google Slides or in PowerPoint. And then you can apply your brand, your template and say, what काम किया बहुत right? Okay. I said we'll use ChatGPT as a help desk platform, right? What does that mean actually? So I'm going to take the risk and do this. Okay, it is virtualization, and I am going to go into a tool called, oh I didn't open it. Okay. I'm going to go into a tool called Chat PDF. Anyone use Chat PDF? Good. I like when I'm showing new stuff because then I don't get any technical questions on it because you've seen it for the first time. So I'm just going to upload this over here. Okay. And it will actually tell you the kind of questions. Crazy. It will actually tell you what kind of questions you can ask based on the content which is there in the video already. Right? So it says examples of questions. What are different virtualization approaches discussed in the white paper? So this is the white paper that I used to summarize earlier. So I've summarized it, I know what to expect in it. Now I want to ask it, what about this, what about that? I'm doing a deep dive. And this could be a 30, 40, 50 page technical white paper that I don't understand more than 1% of, right? So I'm going to say, I want to know why are CIOs interested in virtualization? Okay? Because there's a lot of content that is spread across the white paper.
So you can't do this in ChatGPT.
You can't. Well, you can do it in ChatGPT, but you'll have to copy paste the PDF, like because you can't upload text documents in ChatGPT yet. That's coming. But right now it's text based, so that's why I have copied. Remember, into ChatGPT you can. But if you're still lazy to even do that, you know, every second counts, right? We are all busy. So, and it says here CIOs and IT managers are interested in virtualization because it allows them to deploy creative solutions to business challenges such as cost-effective utilization of IT infrastructure, blah 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 blah. So it actually tells you why they are interested, what can they get out of it. Okay. So I know this. Okay, is that an indication for me? I'm looking over there. No one is showing me those So server console is in the process of reducing the number of physical servers in data centers. So I don't have to read this. I don't have to make sense of it. Right? It's doing the basic work. अब इसके बाद जो लिखना है, that I have to do. But at least I have a basic framework, basic stepping stone that I can launch my. And guess what? So you have to write some user guide on servers or some consolidation and how this product works. What do you think is my next step? Go to ChatGPT. This is my product. Create an outline book. For a technical guide, for a system admin guide, for installation guide. I have not given any of my architectural, networking, IP data. I'm saying any SaaS product or any virtualization product, any data center use case, what might a typical installation guide look like? What might a typical deployment/implementation guide look like? And man, you'll have a free day. Like you'll have so many options to choose from, and you can pick and choose from a lot of these things. Now, again, it's all about leveraging the technology that we have without compromising on the intellectual property. Right? So I'm done with my demos, but that doesn't mean I'm done with my presentation. So you can do a lot of compare contrast. You can do a lot of research as I showed you right now. Okay. We've created a slide deck from that research. We have looked at how ChatGPT can be used as a help desk. Call ChatGPT and say, "Arey batao yaar, how do I do this? CI को क्या मिलेगा? Server consolidation में क्या है?" And whatever you want, right? You can also upload your user guides and ask it a typical question that your help desk is getting, right? And say, "Are the answers addressed? Are the questions being answered?" That will be a good quality from a content coverage. I'm not saying it will be technically right or wrong. I'm saying at least the coverage is there. Like your knowledge base articles that you're getting. Why do you have to write a knowledge base article in the first place? Is because that content you probably missed in the initial version of your user guide. So those things can definitely be used to enhance the usability and the use cases that the field or your audience is looking for. That can be another good use case. So I'm not going to go into each of these demos, but you can say, write me a personalized email to documentation manager at Oracle asking for a job. You can replace Oracle by Sybase today because it will go to the right person. Include the following points. I am currently working as a software tester, but not sad. Want to transition to technical writing. Since I do not have any experience or prior experience, I don't mind starting as an intern or a junior writer, and it will spit out an excellent email that you can tweak. Okay. If you have ChatGPT 4 or if you do this on Bard, Google Bard, because it's connected to the internet, you can actually also say in brackets replace name of the documentation manager by the actual documentation manager. You know, if you can find it, it'll actually put that name in there. I'm not using plus right now. My next prompt is, so it will give out something which won't be too bad, but then it says, my name is Sumed, make the letter informal, conversational, and a little witty. Okay. And you'll get a completely new output out of that. So I'm not, and all I have to do is copy, paste, and tweak. I don't have to type and think, what do I write? So I'm giving you some use cases of how you can leverage, some of the AI tools to make your life easier. Okay. What can I include in a presentation about my SaaS supply chain product to a potential customer? What can I include in a presentation? They are the CTOs and CEOs of a large firm interested in my product. So if I ask you this question, you'll be like, senior management, I don't know. But who are you going to go to? Right? I know. You don't go to ChatGPT. Because again, you're not giving away anything. You're just saying, for a SaaS product, I'm not defining, I'm not telling technology, language, platform, domain, nothing. I'm just saying, for a presentation about a SaaS supply chain, that's the only domain knowledge I'm giving. Let's actually see, because this is actually fun. So here, so it's saying when presenting your SaaS supply chain CTO, it's saying focus on showcasing the value. So introduction, introducing company overview, challenges to the supply chain industry, introducing a SaaS product in context of those challenges, and then key features and functionality. How good is that? That is insane, right? Again, I'm interviewing for a senior technical writer role. Give me some interview questions, and you can actually put in your job description and say, I'm interviewing senior technical writer role. JD is given below. Ask me 10 really tough questions. I may be asked. Do not give any explanation. Just list the answer, the question. And the next prompt can be, give me answers to the above prompt. Right? I just received a message from my manager about asking about the status of my project. Can you suggest a reply? The suggestion you get is a framework. Okay, I'm giving you insane examples, but these are practical. I face this every day. This guy calls me and said, where are you with this dog and that dog? Yeah, kya batao fir? Right? So you can experiment. What I'm trying to say is not everything is a copy paste, but try to imagine what the potential is of this. You may be starting out as a freelancer, I'm getting a lot of questions. I want to start as a freelancer. Can you help me generate a design prompt for a logo from a proprietary firm in technical writing? So you want to start a proprietary firm. What kind of a logo can you have? Now what happens is you get a long prompt. Right? And this is what a prompt that we are running out of time. So I won't show you, but once you get that prompt, you copy that prompt into Midjourney, which is another imaging tool, and say, do exactly what this AI prompt says, and it will start creating some magic for you, right? Don't even have to hire, graphic designers may be out of job, or maybe, so For IDs and trainers, can you turn this list of facts into multiple choice quizzes? A lot of us like software designers, you do strong compliance videos, quizzes for your LMS. Here are a bunch of facts that we try to cover in this thing. Give me a quiz and do it for you. Right? So again, when they share these, once they share this slide deck with you, you will have all of this. But some of the prompts like continue, like ChatGPT only gives you up to 1,000 characters or something initially, and let's say your prompt is 20, 30, 3,000 lines long. All you say is continue, and it will start from where it left off. Right? It just keeps going. Elaborate, compare contracts, role play, act as an interviewer, act as so and so, rephrase, summarize, give me a concise version of the following text, and so on and so forth. So I just crammed a lot of examples of prompts. I didn't need to try all of them out, but I just wanted you to see what you can expect from something like this. What is wrong with my code? For those of you who do API or developer documentation, what is wrong with this code? And I can show you in break time sometime, but it says there's nothing wrong with this code, but you can definitely optimize it for efficiency. Like, okay. So it's not only giving me how to improve the code, but how fast. Mind blowing. Okay. AI on the road is, they're using AI in China or something to scan for potholes. Itna sa chhe dikega, so AI is all over the place. I just found this last night. I thought I would just put it in. And this is the last one. So while this goes on, please questions. How long do we have for questions? Okay, sorry, I thought you were seeing this. Yeah.
Let's bring this technology to Pune during monsoon season.
वो गाड़ी आगे नहीं जाएगा बॉस। पाकिस्तान से कहाँ तक पहुँचेंगे? So see there is this scanners that just scan the road and it identifies the GPS coordinates of where the potholes are. Anyway, that's my spiel on what AI is doing today and how we can leverage it in our field of work. I don't guarantee I'll have an answer, but I'll take the questions. Yeah.
Sir, ChatGPT is working on it gives the response which the data fed into it. Okay. So it will give the response whatever is accepting the data when it is trained. Okay. In the training phase, whatever trainers have given the data, when we are using it as in the technical writing, the data can be biased or the data can be ambiguous. So can we use this in our concept clearing or something like that? Suppose it gives more inclination to particular product on whatever the data it is having on the web.
Right.
So how we can deal with it?
So that's a great question. The way you deal with it, ask it from multiple angles. You don't just ask it one question. Say, now don't talk about this angle or this domain. Talk about, SaaS or talk about this tool or some kind of a supply chain management thing in manufacturing environment, in software environment, in an auto environment, and then you try to assemble a lot of this data, right? So your research is getting faster, but the research part isn't being completely negated. That part is still there. We're just leveraging, like back when I was in school and college, I was looking through encyclopedias, those big fat 26 volume. We do that on Google, and now we do that on AI. But that doing part is still there. So what you can do is ask questions from different angles, different perspectives. Say, leave this part out, focus on that part. And that way you will get a complete 360 unbiased output.
I have a question on this. generate a lot of like replies, mails, how to write all this, right? Now there is unsurety about like if I generate some response from for certain email, are other people getting the same kind of?
No, they're not.
No, no.
I mean, I was going to say that as I'm typing this, go to your mobile, log in, for what it says, you do it, all of us will get different responses. I tried doing one response, the second time I got a different response. Right? That's why it's generative. It's not cookie copy paste. It's not a cookie cutter thing. So, and that is where there is this fine line. And I'm happy I'm not getting any ethics related questions because I don't have answers to that yet. But some people say that AI generated content is not copywritten because it's AI generated. No one has written it before. It's net new. It's just consolidating a lot of data and it's like copy pasting something and rephrasing it. हम लोग बोलते हैं ना rephrase करो, don't copy paste it. Then you are bought out from the legal hassles. Yes, there was a.
How safe is
When you are using
Confidential.
Confidential data. Company's confidential data.
not safe at all. Yeah, so that's what I'll repeat. I think I mentioned it, but I'll stress on it that only upload PDFs that are public domain. You know, if you have a PDF on the website, on your, even if you have it on your intranet site, do not use it on this thing. It's like this, you know, once you post a social media post, it's gone. You delete all you want, somewhere or the other, you left a footprint. So don't upload anything like that. Secondly, you will be flagged. You will be flagged saying so and so an IP has used ChatGPT, it's a banned tool, so I wouldn't risk. I mean, अगर research करने के लिए job ही नहीं है तो फायदा क्या है, right? Question? Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah.
If you have a large document upload, I want to verify the claims in those documents. If there are statistics, for example, 80% of the users are using this, and it links to a source to a study or something, is it possible to verify the claims in that document?
So is it verified? Yeah. So I don't know if I can go back, but when you the question is it possible to verify the claims, right? So what happens is if you go into yeah. So if you go in here, that's a good question. I wanted to highlight that. I forgot. So if you use ChatPDF, right, and you ask a question about CIO and server consolidation, it actually shows you, just like in a PDF, how many times this term or that keyword has come up. So it's showing you over here that addressing these challenges, the word challenges has come up 3 times. So now you can go into the PDF search for challenges and get a little bit more context of the context in which these 3 instances have appeared throughout your 500-page PDF. Much easier than trying to go there, read it, parse it, understand it, and then start putting your hair out. Right? So yeah, there is a way to cross-verify that. Thanks for pointing out. Maybe one more last one.
We do have Sumedh with us for the whole conference, so I'll suggest everyone during our break because yes, we have to be respectful of the time because we have other speakers also lined up.
So thank you guys.
This is a
Thank you
very
much.
big and vast topic, and thanks Sumedh. This topic is something I think if we all sit for a whole day or 2 days conference also, we'll have too many things to discuss. But yes, this was just an introduction and we want and Sumedh want you guys to go and explore more. But yes, no confidential and company related information please. Okay, and thank you Sumedh for
And if you get in trouble, don't say I said to do that. I always said